Bringing it back, take two, right? So, as Mike, you were covering about how things or what you were going to bring to title automation, the phone calls. We had 1,006 people coming to a table. It needed to
Correct.
be brought together.
Correct. So in the process, you have with your buyer, your seller, informing those people, your team, whatever it may be, having the ability to communicate with those people in a professional manner was what automation I felt was about. Being able to, once I got that payoff in, I was able to send it out to whomever needed it, and then send out information to say that we had received it. And that was one step less that realtor or individual was able to worry about in the process. So as that communication got better, the closings were able to go a little bit faster.
Mm.
Now, remember, depending on when we're talking about, in the mid to late 90s, you're dealing with, in a DOS environment, there really wasn't a whole lot of emails. There really wasn't a whole lot of automation as far as communication was concerned, but automating the paperwork, if you want to go that far back, was extremely important. When this all started, for me at least, they put a piece of paper in the typewriter that was a pre-printed form, and they're sitting there just typing in the form. They make a mistake, and they got to go back and redo it. And that was the process that we needed to automate as well. That went well, over the years, and it became kind of a competitive race for, the race for space, if you want to say it. There was companies like Landtech and SoftPro, Title Team, all kinds of different products that were out there that were competing for that market. And it was very important that there would be title companies that understood how to use that automation. So my first few years was going out to those title companies and teaching them how to use this automation.
So what a heck of a background, though. So not only do you travel to multiple title companies, understanding their operations,
Correct.
but you were beginning this in a time, well, not really beginning because you were already doing it, but as it starts to turn to this automated world, you were developing software for title companies on the back end in multiple places.
Correct.
You had seen it and help automate it. So really, title from the film days, right, of microfilm to automation to the technology from the back end all the way forward. And well, I'm going to see if I can ruffle some feathers here.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can get there. And let's fast forward to 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fast forward where 1,001 title companies were popping up out of nowhere. Everyone is just killing it in real estate, right? Until that happens. Talk a little bit about what it was like as you saw this spike in real estate happening and everyone opening title companies and closing on houses and loans. Walk me through what an experienced title person, experienced in real estate, was thinking as this growth was just spiking through the roof, and kind of how it came to a crashing halt, and what you were thinking. I can see Mike on the sidelines, and so I'm trying to get that Mike out here.
Well, let's take a step back on that, because before automation, before we started these processes, and there were many people, I'm far from the only one that came into this automating the process. There were so many companies and people that were very, very interested in doing this, but the process wasn't so easy. When you get to 2002, 2003, 2004, in those heydays, as we call it, all the way up to 2006, the process became so easy because it was automated. So anybody that could sell and go out and talk to realtors and that could do paperwork and could make this process happen came into the title industry or the lending industry. It just opened up. The opportunity in Florida was huge. So as 2008 came, they disappeared because the business disappeared. Automation doesn't create business. And that's where, from that process of 2008 to 2013, our title company did what we call a metamorphosis. We changed from being just an automated title company to a company that could help our customers find business. And to me, that was important. I've always known marketing. I've always known technology. I was a Marine recruiter. I was taught very well by the Marine Corps to sell. When you talk someone into joining the Marine Corps for 4 years of your life, that's a pretty serious commitment.
Yeah.
You better know what you're talking about. So when I came into the title industry, I felt that the sales was good, but after going through that crash, I felt like, well, automation's here, sales was here, but where am I missing it? And I felt like it was going out and finding those realtors and finding those lenders and helping them better their business, finding ways to give them technology and ideas and thoughts and living off what they have learned and just making it better. So that's kind of where we're at today, is trying to find a way that we speak to each and every one of our customers out there, make it a great experience, first of all. Anybody that has a good time buying a home is going to try to remember those people that got them there, but we need to make sure they remember. So the experience needs to be well.
Is that how you survived that crash? What was it that kept Venture Title through, I mean, the destructive tsunami of that crash?
I'd like to say it was me, but it wasn't. I think the difference was it was all of us. Those of us that survived the industry kind of bunkered in together, and we all became like helpers of each other. And it was kind of what started the design of what exists today, helping each other find ways. I had builders come to me and ask me for help. And so what we did is we helped them open up a company that would allow them to go out and do inspections for insurance companies. We looked at other ways to find jobs for people within our industry by going to insurance companies and saying, okay, can we do inspections on some of your new homes that you're going to insure? Or can we go back to the lenders and say, is there a way we can go and do inspections on those homes that have been abandoned? And that was another way for some of our people to make ends meet, for lack of better terms. So even myself, I was out there during the slow times, going with some of my inspectors and making sure the houses were secure. So you did whatever it took to survive the industry, to basically stay above water. And as things came back, we learned to help each other. I'd like to not specifically talk about a single person, but there was a very strong single person that was a big influence on Venture Title and how they moved forward. And it was a gentleman that was an owner of a lending company here in town, and they're an outstanding company. He's since retired. But I think without his mentorship and his help, I feel like we would have not have looked at so many different ways we could have done business and stayed in business.
Ah, man. For me, I know if I'm hunting a title company, right, being a realtor, typically the realtor, the lender is choosing title, right? Yeah, if I'm out doing that.
No, say that again. You said the lender's choosing title?
Well, sometimes if it's like a refi or something.
Absolutely. Correct,
Okay.
sir.
So lenders are choosing that, and listing agents basically are the ones bringing the or choosing the title.
Correct. For the most part, it's actually the seller's choice. So the seller itself can choose, but how many sellers really know a title agent?
Right.
So it's our relationship with those selling agents or listing agents, I should say, is what creates that actual deal.
And so now let's switch it. I've been a home buyer. I love how you answered what title is to a home buyer so easily in the beginning. So let's make me a realtor, and I'm a realtor. And why do I bring my business to Venture Title?
Well, I think we go back to all those reasons before, is that it is a great automated company. We found a way to openly communicate all the time. We are a mom and pop company. We're owned by myself, my wife. We have family members that work here. I like to think that all my employees are part of my family. We try to put that first. That's one key.
So I'm not a number.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. Absolutely not. I mean, we want to make sure that the experience is important. This is one of the most expensive experiences you're going to go through is purchasing a home. So go back to where you're saying the realtor. I want to understand who the realtor is. If the realtor likes to go out and knock on doors, then I need to find a way to go out and knock on doors with that realtor. If that realtor wants to go out and find different ways, whether it be through the internet, through having individuals interviewed and sit in an open house and make cookies and popcorn. These are different ways that people do things. We've got to support them, and we've got to find ways to make that better for them. not necessarily make better cookies or popcorn, but find better ways for them to be able to get themselves out there and make them look like they know what they're doing. We know what we're doing. And it's so hard to specifically pick one thing because we all go at this differently. Every single realtor kind of does this a little bit different. So if I can't look at what they're doing and find what the title company needs to be doing, don't get me wrong. I have an entire staff that does the other part, the way I described what is important about title. We have a staff for that, but we also have a marketing staff that's going to support those people.
Yeah, you described yourself to me once as wanting to be a resource for so many people. And, you know, being a realtor still, right? And I'm asking, what is that resource, right? You know, walk me through maybe a scenario. Give me a story maybe about, you know, maybe somebody called or